Okay, I'm back. So at the end of every class, we sit in meditation for a while, like a little bit of silence. Sometimes they do a reading. And what came to me in that time today was that in creating the new, if that resonates for you, like we're creating new, it means the dismantling of the old, internally and externally. And so then why is there upheaval? Because of that, right? And so the challenge then is, how do we hold space for the dismantling process and the death of the old? So I'm going to say that again. How do we hold space for the dismantling process and the death of the old? I feel so much so much emotion just saying that. I'm studying and working with the psyche, going deeper, going back to like the roots of psychology, going back and to my personal ancestry, indigenous roots, ancestral roots, and then the collective roots of psychology, of spiritual development, personal development, right? And our ancestors had so much wisdom. That's how they survived and we're here. Has there been tragedy and so much hurt and harm? Absolutely. But there's also just like wisdom that's still there that we can access. And some of this wisdom would help us sit with one of our biggest teachers. That teacher is death. And so many of us didn't have teachings or support in processing death. Sometimes death was even really traumatic and stays stuck in our bodies and our psyches and turns into fear. And then we develop an unconscious or conscious fear of death, right? Like all the things we saw with COVID and when we're facing death, that makes us really irrational, really reactive. And it's because we didn't learn how to work with these cycles of life and death, birth and death. And as we do, we learn how to hold space for it all. We allow ourselves to dismantle and let go of those things that don't serve us. Not out there, inside, you guys. Like beliefs, old stuck emotions, cultural conditioning, media conditioning, all these things. When we can let that die, we can be free of that controlling us and us responding through fear and that driving our actions, we can dismantle, release, and make space for love. But it means allowing the cycle, allowing death, allowing. And we know so much more than we think we know. It's in us. It's in you. It's there. I keep getting reminded of that in so many ways. Like this class, when this was coming to me in my meditations, and then now it's like, oh, it's a whole lineage that goes back thousands of years. It's like, okay, that I never heard of until now. I mean, go figure, right? We've got this. We've got this. We're going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's how we perceive what's happening. It's our perspective. And we have people modeling what healing looks like now. And those are slowly becoming our leaders, you guys. You know, look at what Simone Biles did, her comeback, right? She did the work internally, which then fixed the physical part. And she's such an inspiration to so many more than we realize. That, you know, all the little girls out there, all like the big girls too, right here. You know, like people who are really walking their talk and doing the work are becoming leaders. And that gives me hope. And it makes me want to do better. And it makes me want to show up. And it makes me want to make my comeback. I almost quit. Real talk. I almost quit school. I'm a PhD student, and I'm like this close, you guys. I even had a teacher tell me like to quit, that it wasn't good for me. And when I really felt into it, she was seeing me in distress and projecting her fear onto me. And that's happened a lot in my life, you know, like well-meaning people, but you gotta go through it sometimes to get to the other side. And we just need to hold space for each other in that process. I'll talk more about what's been happening to me emotionally and mentally soon. But today I just want to focus on the fact that the comeback queen did her work. She did what it took. She faced it. Proof is in the pudding. And you can too.